So today I'm going to be reviewing Anna Dressed in Black by Kendare. Now this book is about a teenage boy named Kaz who kills ghosts for a living, and he hunts these ghosts down and he kills them so they can't be terrorizing other people and killing people. So Kaz does this job as it is in his family, and his grandfather did it and his dad did it, and now Kaz is doing it since his dad died a while ago by a ghost that killed him. So Kaz and his mum move around a lot as they try and follow the stories where they hear that ghosts are, so Kaz can go and kill them. Now Kaz generally only kills ghosts that haunt people or kill people, ghosts that are generally bad. He tries and leaves like the ones that don't hurt people alone. So Kaz gets a tip off about a girl named Anna, who her story is called Anna Dressed in Black, in a town, and so he goes to this town to try and find Anna and to kill her, as what happens is the story about Anna is that she was murdered in 1956, I think it was, and now every time that someone enters her house that she supposedly haunts and lives in, they will never come back out alive, and Anna kills them in a brutally way, like ripping them apart and tearing them like limb to limb, and it's quite a gruesome way of killing people. So yeah, Kaz hears of this story, and of course he needs to go and kill Anna, as that is his job, and a ghost like Anna shouldn't be around. But things don't go quite to plan in this book, as Kaz learns Anna is not what she seems, and her story of why she does this, and when you come to know Anna a little bit more, you start to feel maybe a little bit sorry for her, as her story of how she was murdered and everything, and Kaz has to figure out what to do about her. Kaz also finds two friends in this book, who Kaz has normally not made friends before because he's moved around so much. He's normally not had time for friends, and he tries to keep people out because he doesn't want to make friends and then have to move again. So yeah, Kaz meets two friends in these books too. So something I'd like to state is the book says not for younger readers, and I would probably agree with this. This book is a horror book, and whilst I myself personally wasn't scared, like I could go to bed and not be scared from this book, it was quite gruesome in some details, and it deals with rape, and it deals with very gruesome scenes, and the writer is brilliantly descriptive, like not too descriptive, but it's descriptive enough that it paints a picture in your mind, and some of the pictures that it paints aren't very nice, as maybe you could tell by Anna's story. Yeah, there's some scenes in there like that, so if gruel and gruesome isn't really what you're looking for, then maybe don't pick up this book. Also, if ghosts terrify you, again, maybe this book isn't for you. Also, another thing about this book, I would think, just on a side note, it would make a great horror movie. Like if someone got this book and like, yeah, we're gonna adapt it into a movie, yes please. Like, it would seriously make a great horror movie. Like, it's got all the right things for it, and like, it already paints a picture of the horror movie, how it would turn out, so I would love for this to be turned into a movie. So I wasn't really sure what to expect when I started reading Anna Dressed in Blood, but by the first chapter I was hooked. Like, I knew that I was instantly going to love this book. Now, I haven't actually really read many horror stories, ghost stories and everything. I think this is a kind of first for me, and I really loved it. I don't know if it was the author, the story idea, just everything about this book was so great to read. It was really interesting, the story was complex, it was gruesome, it was, the characters were really interesting, and the ghost stories were quite crazy, and seeing how, finding out about how some of the ghosts had died and how Kaz had killed them and everything was really interesting. This book is a really quick read. It's nearly about 400 pages, but I had to space mine out. I read it in 3 days because I wanted to kind of savor it, but I really wanted to finish it in one day. It's only because I was savoring it that I read it in 3 days. It was just so good. Like, I wanted to know what was happening next. Like, the whole time I was reading it, I was spellbound. I needed to know what was happening next. I was captivated by this book. Anna also is a really interesting ghost, and hearing her story and everything, but knowing at the same time how she kills people and everything, I felt really convicted about Anna and everything, and it's really interesting how the author does this and makes you feel, you know, sorry for Anna, but then not sorry because what she does, and it's very conflicting how you feel about Anna. There is a romance in here that is a little bit funny. It just seems to come out of nowhere in a way, but that didn't really matter to me. The romance isn't a big part of this novel, and at the end I grew to like the romance and everything. So I don't have that many issues with me for it. It just seemed a little bit weird and out of place and just came out of nowhere. But again, it's not a big part of the novel. It's not the main feature of the novel, even though it says spellbinding or romantic. It's not. It's not the plot of this novel. And so don't let that hold you back with it. Also, as soon as I finish this book, I may have gone on Book Depository and bought the second book, which is an issue as I am meant to be on a book buying ban, so don't tell anyone. This book had great plot twists. The characters were really believable. Um, there's a whole mix of characters. You have this kind of prom queen, you have Kaz, who's very quiet and keeps to herself, and you have this really weird guy Thomas, and then you have some jocks, and you have all these different range of characters, and to see how they interact and everything is really interesting. And I really liked that you had all this diversity of all these different characters coming together and mingling. The deaths were a bit gruesome in some scenes. I was like, oh, like gross, you know, how descriptive it was, and how I could I have this thing where when I read something, it paints a picture in my mind of what I picture it to look like. And this whole book, I had some gruesome images in my mind, but I didn't like that. I liked it. It is a horror story, and I just found that a great way of doing it, and the author was really great with painting that sort of picture in my mind. I really enjoyed this for a young adult, you know, horror story, and it was really interesting. I don't really have any faults about it except for maybe the romance, and even then I grew to like it in the end. And I found myself captivated the whole way through it. I would really, really recommend this book if it sounds interesting to you. I picked it up because of the cover, and I'm so glad that I did, because this book was amazing. I really, really loved it, and I can't wait to get into the second book, and I hope there's a third book too. Maybe there'll be a whole series of cats finding ghosts and killing people in their stories. Oh, dreams, if only. So yeah, I'm definitely going to rate this book 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed it immensely, and I would definitely recommend it if this book sounds interesting to you, or if you want to read something a little bit different than the normal young adult dystopian novels going around at the moment. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of this book, if you have read it, you know, what you thought of the characters and the storyline and Anna herself and everything. And let me know in the comments too if you plan to pick this book up now and everything. And so like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you'd like to see more book reviews from me, and I guess I'll see you next time. Okay, bye!